Hey everybody, Sean here, Boosted Miata, and it broke again. My antenna broke off for the third or fourth time. This is a little stubby S2000 style antenna that I got many years ago, and it just broke. These things break. You run into them, you lean over them, they kind of snap off after a while because this rubber stuff gets a little brittle, especially down at the bottom. But I'm a cheap bastard. This is a budget build, so I ain't gonna spend 30, 40, 50 bucks on a new antenna. I'm gonna fix this one again, but this time I'm gonna try to do a permanent fix, or the best fix I can do on this thing before I break down and buy another one. So that's going on. And also at the same time, I thought I'd show you my head unit and my engine management stuff and how it all integrates into my smartphone. Somebody asked about that on my channel, and I thought that was a great question, so I think I'm going to show that to you today as well. So come on, let's go. Okay, so here's what's happened on this antenna. You can see it's snapped off right there at the bottom where it attaches right here. These stubbies come with this, basically the spring, which acts as the actual antenna. So this plastic goes over it, and you can see this has a lot of flex. So, you know, when you're a big gut like me, when my big gut comes along and I'm working on my car or washing it, you tend to kind of push on this. And because it's stiffer at the base, that's where this thing cracks and snaps. So that's what's happened to it over time. So what I want to do, in the past I've used super glue on there. So what I want to do this time is I want to use some Gorilla Glue and just Gorilla Glue that in and see how that does. But at the same time, what I'd like to do is to kind of seal it all together. I wanted to use some big old heat shrink that I have. I think this is like 1/2 inch heat shrink or something. And put that over this, get it all the way down there if I can, and cover that crack up and heat shrink this whole thing to kind of keep it together. But I don't know if this is big enough. We're gonna try. I'm gonna soap this up a little bit with some soap. And, oh wait, I need Gorilla Glue first. Hold on, I gotta get the glue. Got the Gorilla Glue. So we'll first glue this down. It's kind of it's a gel type glue, like an epoxy style. But the problem is over time it expands and creates kind of a foam. So you gotta be really careful with it and not overdo it. Just use a little tiny amount. A little tiny bit. What's even gonna come out? Come on. I'm thinking that this isn't really gonna seal really well. I don't think I'm gonna mend that. I think what's gonna work best, so I'm gonna stick a bunch of Gorilla Glue, not a bunch, but I'm gonna put a little bit on this metal here. Just a little, to kind of give it a little extra adhesion. So it kind of sticks down a little bit. I'm not gonna get too crazy with it. I'll put a little bit inside here. Oh yeah. So I'm gonna push that down, kind of squish it around so it gets on all the surfaces inside there. And push it down there. Boom. Boom. Again, I don't think that's gonna seal really well right there. I just don't think it's gonna work really well. The plan now is to take this heat shrink and put it down there and see if I can get, I just got Gorilla Glue on my face, wonderful. Kind of seal it all together with a piece of heat shrink. I don't know, it might look like crap, but it might actually work, we'll see. I really don't care, I can cut it off if I don't like it. It's a test, you know? It's just a bit of an experiment, making this up as I go. So what I want to do is put a little laundry soap on this, kind of to slick it up a little bit so it makes it easier to slide this thing over. I don't want to use too much of this over it. So let's see if this works. Oh, that's going down easy. Come on. Work with me. Work with me. See, I just want to kind of get it over that crack. I just don't think this heat shrink is big enough. This isn't working the way I wanted it to. So I'm going to cut it off. It's just that I thought I could get this heat shrink to kind of get over the end here all the way down, but it's splitting over here. Doesn't seem to be working, so we're gonna plan B this. I'm gonna pull this off. Just kind of waste a little bit here, it doesn't matter. Okay, get that off of there. Let me clean this up. and go to plan B. And plan B is just to Gorilla Glue the shit out of it. Clean it up here. So a little more Gorilla Glue here. A little more inside here. And then coat this again. There we go. The trick is to get pressure on it like that. This is gaffer's tape. It's really strong. It doesn't leave residue on anything. Tighten it up like this. It looks like crap, but that's not permanent. That's just to get it to seal up. So that's that. But for now, I think this should work. I'll let this sit for a while. It needs to sit, probably be on there for quite a bit. All right, well, that's that. So I'm going to show you my head unit and how it integrates into my engine management with my smartphone. So let's go look at that now. Come on. Drive and I'd show you my head unit and how it integrates into my engine management system, and it also is my radio and music and navigation. The head unit connects to my smartphone and mirrors it on the screen there, and I can control it just like I can my regular smartphone. And here it is. So you can see that this head unit is just mirroring my smartphone, and I'll explain this in a little more detail. My head unit is a Pioneer Appradio. This is the Appradio 2. It came out a few years ago. It's dated, it's a bit old, but it's still very effective. The way it's able to mirror it, it requires my smartphone, which is a Samsung Galaxy S4. It requires it to be rooted. The phone needs to be rooted, and you need to get this app right here. It's called ARLiberator. Now what ARLiberator does, it communicates with the Appradio, and it allows you to essentially hack the Appradio so you have touch controls through the Appradio touchscreen. Because normally the Appradio would only allow you to access approved apps like Pandora and things like that, and have very limited touch control. So essentially all this happening here is my smartphone. And I just tuck my smartphone away in my console. Now, running on my smartphone is this interface here called Car Home. It allows you to set up an interface for your car, uses large icons. It has a speedometer, it has your heading, it's got temperature.
Weather for Pacifica, mostly cloudy.
It allows you to add icons for all the apps you want. You can, any app you have, it's not limited. You can actually watch video on here if you wanted to. It also has a player screen, which allows you to set up all your Spotify, Pandora, Sirius, Play, Amazon Music, whatever you want. So it's really, really cool. I really like it, but it has its drawbacks. It's a hack, right? It's not perfect. Peter Frampton. It's not perfect. It's a hack. It requires some time to set up, and it can be a little finicky, especially if you lose power and say your engine stalls and you restart. Sometimes it won't sync back up with your phone, and it's kind of a pain. So it's not perfect. On here I have MS Droid. Now MS Droid is the app that connects to my Megasquirt ECU. This app is best used for creating custom gauges like you see here. Here's my boost gauge, my vacuum boost gauge, my air fuel ratio. Here I have miles per hour and RPM. Here I have air temperature, and I have coolant temperature. MS-Droid also allows you to tune your ECU from this app. It has a tuning screen, and here are all the things you can access. I can go into my fuel table here, you see it, and I can go to edit it. And this is good, so I'm on the road and I don't have my laptop and I'm experiencing some trouble and maybe I have to change my fuel settings. I can do that here on this. It's really cool. Now I connect to this ECU through a Bluetooth connection that I have right here that connects to a serial cord that goes to the ECU. And my phone connects through Bluetooth. I really like it. I think it's pretty cool. It works really well. So one more thing people have asked me about is this mirror, which is actually my dash cam. I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of hard to see, but there's actually a little LCD screen in there. And I have a backwards facing and a forward facing camera. And they have a little LED, so it has night vision. And this is pretty cool. I picked this up off of Amazon. I think it was around 130 bucks. It's pretty decent. It takes okay video. It's not super high res. It's 720p, but it's not great quality. But it gets the job done because I'm only using it as a dash cam in case something happens and I need to have some video evidence of an accident or something like that. Well, I'm going to provide links to all this stuff down below. I'll have links to everything so you can kind of check it out and explore it on your own. If you have any particular questions, just go ahead and ask me down below. I'd be happy to answer your questions. All right, well, let's see if this did the trick. I'm going to pull this tape off. Alrighty, that looks awful. What I thought would happen happened. You can see where the Gorilla Glue came through, but I'm glad I did this now. I'll just go ahead and peel that off. Here we go. Not perfect, but good enough. And I didn't have to buy a new antenna, and I'll just clean that up with something and get it looking good. Be good as new. Alright guys, thanks a lot. I really appreciate you checking out my video today. Be sure to subscribe if you want to see more videos. I have a whole series coming up on Megasquirt and tuning with Megasquirt. Again, thanks a lot guys. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and I'll talk to you guys really soon. Bye-bye.